Oh, hi. How are you doing? Sorry? How are you doing? Yeah, fine. I'm on a holiday. I'm here in Cuba and I'm enjoying adventure tourism. I'm swimming in a river. Well, this is adventure tourism, isn't it? You had a couple of questions for me, I believe. Yeah. What is adventure tourism? I think adventure tourism depends a little bit on several factors. And concerning every factor, it is of importance to remember that the factors are individual. So it depends on each person's characteristics, experience, skills, attitude in life, subculture, everything, how much of every characteristic is supposed to be in adventure tourism according to him. For example, according to me, swimming in a river in Cuba is adventure tourism. That is an adventure activity since it is outdoor and since it's far away from home. I'm from the Netherlands. It is an exotic destination. It is warm, 30 degrees in here, and well, in the Netherlands it's never 30 degrees. And more things, cultural aspects too. I need to speak Spanish over here, which makes things exotic. But let's start with the first thing that I mentioned. The first thing I mentioned was, what was it again? Oh yeah, thank you. Indoor versus outdoor. You know, there are activities that are indoor that people would say they are adventure activities. But personally, I don't think so. That doesn't mean that I don't accept them, or as an expert, that I don't think that adventure activities are supposed to be all outdoor. But I think, since, well, what I said, it can be personal opinions about this, but personally for me it's not correct. For example, a climbing hall is indoor, but a climbing hall is a copied version of a mountain. The difficult things are deleted, taken away, and they are being replaced by things that make things easier. Like, for example, the worst obstacles in a mountain, they are taken away because it's too difficult. The temperature is made easier, and all that is left is that the activity itself has some characteristics of adventure tourism, outdoor adventure. It's not outdoor anymore, and in that sense it is nice for a climber to train his muscles and to train his abilities indoor, since mountains can be quite far away. For example, in the Netherlands. Yeah, another aspect would be the motivation that should be intrinsic. That is what I believe. An adventure should be intrinsically motivated. That means that there shouldn't be a reward. Well, the reason for an activity should be from yourself, because you want to do this activity and not because you're being rewarded with something. When thinking about externally motivated activities, a lot of people may think about children who are being like forced to do an activity by their parents, who say like, well, you get an ice cream when you reach the top of this mountain. Well, yeah, okay, but there are more things that people are forcing even themselves to do activities. For example, reaching a mountain top in order to brag towards colleagues or friends. Then reaching the mountaintop or the activity itself, like walking towards this mountain top, is not such a rewarding activity, but afterwards, the thought of afterwards bragging about it is more important. In that sense, an adventure activity is motivated extrinsically, right? Wow. Yeah, nice view. Yeah, I agree. Back to the motivation. Intrinsic motivation is, I would say, better because you do something because you want to do it from your own heart, from your own wishes. You want to do something. Hopefully, activities are intrinsically motivated. One way of an intrinsic motivation is to reach a state of flow, right? State of flow being like a balance between skills and challenges, and the reaching this state of flow, or trying to reach, I should say, that is an objective for a lot of people. And that is a nice objective. It's a good thing, trying to reach this state of flow because you've been there before and because you want to reach it again. That can be done in any outdoor activity, any activity you can say, but any adventure activity. And swimming around in this river can give me a sense of losing the understanding of time, consciousness of time, and feeling in complete balance with myself and with my skills and the challenges. Another characteristic, it could be, what I think is interesting is always contrasting emotions as a factor in adventure tourism, and there are a lot of contrasting emotions. I believe that a lot of people in the room that you're in right now are doing activities which they have experienced themselves, contrasting emotions, and or they organize activities for other people. I organized a lot of activities, for example, in Norway. And those activities, no, the participants in those activities, they often had contrasting emotions when they were afraid of something. They were afraid of being cold at night, or being the one with being the worst in shape of the whole group, or other things that people were afraid of. And on the other hand, they looked forward to it. And that last part is not so strange, because they paid for it, right? They paid for an activity, and they were looking forward to that activity. And still, those two extremes, they were present at the same time often. Risk is to a certain extent always present in adventure tourism. And the extent of risk depends on how much risk is really intended to search for. Well, certain people try to avoid risks and other people try to search for risks. And searching for risks is also depending on your the level of challenge, of course, but also the level of skills that you have. So if you have a lot of skills, then you are able to deal with high challenges too. So the level of actual risks that you're taking is lower. For example, when downhill skiing, you're a good skier, well, yeah, then it's no problem to go on a downhill track that is quite steep, challenging. It's not extremely risky compared to when you see snow for the first time and you have never been skiing before. Then that must be a very difficult activity, a very risky activity. It's with those kind of people that the largest accidents happen. That is with people who are not very prepared and underestimate quite easy risks. There are other kind of risks that are like more like images of risks, like the image of a lion during a safari in, for example, Africa. The image can be quite risky, but you're in a car and the car cannot be opened from outside. It even has bars, for example. The lion can never enter and it's completely, well, harmless outside. So there is no risk. There are no bigger risks there than driving around where you are now, somewhere in Ireland. I think it's time to stop right now because it's really starting to rain. Is it raining in Ireland too? Okay. Well, I think I have to search for some cover. So, goodbye over there. Bye.